Welcome to the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. Just like you, I'm an independent retail business owner. I love the home decor and gift boutique I co-own with my sister, but I don't want it to consume me or my life. Join me each week as I share lessons learned, helpful tips, and valuable information for your retail business and life. Whether you're buying your products or making your products, whether you're a $25K business or a $2.5 million business, I'm on a mission to help indie retailers work less, profit more, and grow. Let's get started on today's episode. Welcome to episode 213 of the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. What's possible in independent retail? I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. My intention for this episode is to share examples of store owners who are succeeding in the game of independent retail. They are profitable, they're paying themselves, and their business isn't burning them out. This year, I'm changing up the way I post and share information on social media, and it's really starting to resonate with many of you. And that whole topic I'll just save for another day. But early this year, I realized that I wasn't sharing what I really know or believe about independent retail. And I wasn't doing that intentionally. I just felt like I was posting lots of fluff. And that annoyed me. And that all came from me. I'm not blaming it on anyone at all. It's just what I was doing. I've spent 7 years truly getting to know this industry, the store owners, learning about my own business, and then in particular, what happens behind all of these businesses. In indie retail, we constantly focus on businesses that are closing or who we can blame for what we think is impacting our industry. And it's all in the most negative ways. Quite frankly, it's sad. So in today's episode, I want to talk about the store owners who are succeeding in indie retail. It feels so much better. I was recently sick, and you might still hear it in my voice. It was just a couple days ago as I record this. You know, the cold, flu kind of sick. And when I'm sick, everything feels awful. I feel awful. My business feels awful. My mindset is definitely awful. When I'm in bed, not as productive, not feeling like myself. But in the moment, I really wanted to feel good. And thinking about the store owners in my community who are profiting and paying themselves, well, that felt good. And that's how this episode came to be. And then I realized I really don't talk about this often enough. In my 2024 Savvy Shopkeeper survey, I asked if there is anything else that would be helpful. I asked for suggestions. I always do that because it's important for me to hear what you're telling me, what you're looking for. And I really appreciate the one survey taker who essentially said, and these weren't her exact words, I didn't go back into the survey results to read it, but she essentially said, "Can you share the success stories?" And yes, I can. That's what I'm doing today. So between me being sick and the survey suggestions sitting at the back of my mind after I read what she asked me to do, I figured I would take action on this. Moving forward, I will share more of the success stories, the wins. I will talk more about my community members who are finding answers and they're finding joy in their businesses. Is it perfect all the time? No, of course not. I don't want to paint that picture either, but I do want you to see what's possible in retail. So, for example, I had a former one-on-one client who is now a Master Shopkeepers member, and she sent me an email recently, and I love that she does this. She does this like at least once or twice a year. She sends me an email to just kind of keep me posted on her business and progress and what's going on. And she said, and I want to make sure that I preface this. This is a really good one for those of you that feel like tackling your debt is an insurmountable goal. But this is what she said. "Thanks to your input and me actually implementing it, my little 7,200 square foot store generated over $250,000 in 2023 with a $23,000 profit. This despite paying back the tens of thousands of dollars of debt left after I closed my second store last year." And then recently, In Master Shopkeepers, I shared these stats that I'm about to share. And before I share them, I want to say that yes, these are real and existing store owners. I know them personally. I have seen their profit and loss statements. We've had conversations around their numbers. And I'm sharing a variety of revenue levels because all of you listening, my listeners, you have stores of varying sizes. So I never just want to share about the $1 million store if you're a 100K store and you're wondering, but is that possible for me? So I'm going to share these examples for you. Store owner number one, 1.2 million in revenue, profit margin 62%. Incredible. Owner's pay is in the six figures and net profit is $132,000. So $132,000 of net profit on top of the owner's six-figure pay. Store number two, revenue is $500,000, profit margin 63%. Owner's pay $80,000. Net profit, $56K. So again, another example of the owners paying themselves $80,000 and they're showing a net profit of $56,000. Store number three, revenue is $400,000, profit margin 50%, owners pay $60,000. Store number four, revenue is $135,000, profit margin 55%, owners pay $36,000. Those were figures I shared in Master Shopkeepers. Again, these are real store owners, real figures. And this is something that I recently shared in Master Shopkeepers. And the volume of responses and the engagement in that conversation was again, it's just like it's been one sign after another that it's time for me to do an episode on this. This episode is brought to you by my new free resource, Valuable Data to Collect for Your Brick and Mortar Store. One of the questions I hear most often is, how is my business making money, but I'm not making money? I ran a profitable brick and mortar business from day one, and the reason why is because I used data to make decisions. In my new free guide, I'm sharing all the systems that I would set up and the data I would collect if I were to start a store from scratch again. Whether you're preparing to open or you've been open for years, it's never too late to start tracking. Visit savvyshopkeeper.com/data to get the guide. This next example that I'm going to share of a store owner, I recently shared it on Facebook and Instagram, and this is also a real and existing store owner, also a Master Shopkeepers member. Revenue is $700,000. This is the interesting one for this store. Square footage is 700 square feet. So yes, one single location, one store generates $700,000 in revenue in 700 square feet of retail selling space. Of course, in this instance, the owner pays themselves and they are profitable too. They show a net profit in addition to the salary that they pay themselves. So yes, in this instance, you calculated it correctly. If you're like, okay, Kathy's taught me about sales per square footage. This particular store owner has a sales per square footage, an SPSF of $1,000. It's incredible. It has been interesting to see where other store owners' minds, where your minds head to when I post stats like this, whether it's in Master Shopkeepers or on social media. Some other store owners have asked, is this a higher end store? They believe that this must be like a high-end jewelry store or a high-end furniture store, but no, none of these examples I've shared are high-end or what we would consider high-end stores. Or store owners think that the stats I share are all from one industry or business model, like they all must be this type of store, but no, that's not the case either. Why are we thinking that? Or why are other store owners thinking that when I share these numbers? And I really think it's because we, as small business owners, we doubt that this can be us. We think that there's one unicorn business model or type, that there has to be a magic pill for the pain we experience as we build our businesses. However, I promise you that the examples I share are from a variety of store types that range from vendor stores to gift and novelty stores, and a gift and novelty store that averages, I think, less than $30 per transaction. So an AOV of less than $30 per order. It includes traditional apparel stores where it's all apparel with some accessories, and home decor stores. So now you see I shared, if I think about it, I'm going back because I shared the quote from the email I got and then 4 other sets of stats from store owners and then a fifth. So that's 6 examples I gave of store owners who are succeeding at retail right now. And it's just a variety of stores. None of them, I don't think, if I think back of them individually, I'm pretty sure none of them have a higher average order value than, I would say, $50 to $75 at the most. So what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to doubt yourself. There are strategies that you can learn to turn your business into an example of what's possible in retail, into the store owners that I'm sharing about today. So when we're talking about strategies, if you're new to owning a business, you might be wondering, like, Kathy, I don't know what that means. So for example, I recently posted a graphic on social media that said, if your pricing strategy is 2x, meaning keystone pricing, let's say you pay $10 for something and sell it for $20. You're 2xing the $10 wholesale price. Anyhow, the graphic said, if your pricing strategy is 2x, you're in trouble. This post triggered a big reaction. It was like the most comments I've seen on a post and some of the longest comments I've seen on anything I've put on social media. Now, of course, there will be a percentage of businesses that do work with this pricing strategy and they profit or they're performing well, especially if they're really savvy about their expenses. However, most in brick and mortar retail won't survive. And I want these conversations to get you thinking differently. That's exactly what I wanted the post to do. I'm not sharing the post because I want to be controversial. I want to challenge the way you think about your business because too many store owners avoid their numbers and the data in their business. And oftentimes it's mindset related. If you feel stuck, if you're avoiding what's really happening in your business because you have those blinders on, you're like, I'm not going to look at that because it makes me uncomfortable. You can change this. So it's been interesting. Now that I have personally gone all in on that one thing, if you remember that podcast episode where I shared about my change this year, where I decided to go on all in on one thing in that Savvy Shopkeeper, I've opened up time on my calendar and bandwidth in my brain. And it's been interesting to see what has happened over the past 2 months with how much clarity this has brought me, especially around how I can serve independent retailers best. I am leaning into helping indie retailers where they hurt the most. And that's mindset, definitely the numbers, the financials, the inventory, the data, the cash flow, and then of course systems. So now that I went from running 2 businesses to 1 business, I have more availability, right? And that means I can now open up my one-on-one coaching services. If you visit the coaching page on my website, you will now see clear packages and offers. For a long time, I just kind of hid that page, or I would tell people I didn't have availability, and I really didn't because I wanted to make myself a bit of a priority. My family time was a priority, and I was very realistic about all of that time. So it feels good to be able to say, okay, this is how I can coach. These are the packages that I can offer. And you'll find that now on my website. And of course, we'll link this in the show notes. But if you want to hear what the link is, you'll go to savvyshopkeeper.com/coaching. One particular package that I offer is called the Retail Profit Program. This is an 8-week program with 4 bi-weekly 50-minute Zoom calls with me. So over the course of the program, we will build, me and you, a customized retail dashboard in Google Sheets for you and your store, where I will use your data to educate you on what's happening in your business. Where is it leaking? Where is it struggling? What is working? What isn't working? What is profitable? Are you overstocked? All of those things. This is one way where I can help you stop avoiding the numbers. I can help you learn what's actually going on in your business. I just can't tell you how many times people say that to me over and over and over again. I'm making money, but I'm not making money. I don't understand where it's all going. I promise you, this is the package that's going to show you what's happening in your business. But this one detail is important if you're interested. In order to sign up for this one-on-one coaching program with me, you must have accurate bookkeeping financial reports, both a profit and loss statement and a balance sheet. You'll also need an inventory system that has all of your inventory in the system with the cost of each item in the system. And ideally, this is for a full year. So a full year P&L, a full year worth of inventory data. And then, of course, you're going to have to be willing to share the good, the bad, and the ugly with me. And I hope you know by now that there is no shame. I will not shame you. I don't judge you. I genuinely want to help. It's also been interesting to me, but I shouldn't be surprised that I posted my coaching programs on the website, I think just 3 days ago, and I've already had 2 people book. So I do have an introductory price on this program. It will not last for long. I know this is a program that's going to be really, really helpful. So the price will go up. But for now, if you visit the webpage, you'll see pricing, you'll see my other packages, and you'll see what the deadline is to sign up. So to recap this short but sweet episode, it isn't all doom and gloom out there. Is running a retail business all roses? Like, no, of course it's not. I know that for each of the store owner stats I shared today, these store owners, they have hard days too, and they often work through mindset challenges of their own. In fact, this is what made them stronger entrepreneurs. Like, I know this because I know each of them individually. It was their willingness to test, to make changes, to take risks, paired with their willingness to fail and keep trying, their willingness to become better leaders. Because once you have definitely a $500,000 plus business, you are a leader, you have a team. It was their willingness to be uncomfortable, both as they failed and as they checked off boxes in the win column, because sometimes there's discomfort in success too. I know, crazy, right? You're like, Kathy, are you telling me I'm uncomfortable when I'm struggling and trying to find my way, and I'm uncomfortable when I win and succeed? Yep, that's the way it is. So am I saying it's easy? Maybe, maybe not. You get to decide that. However, running a profitable retail business that compensates you for your time and effort, this is possible in retail. I'm going to say this one more time. Running a profitable retail business that compensates you for your time and effort, this is possible in independent retail. If you found this podcast episode helpful, please share it with a retail business friend or leave me a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. I genuinely appreciate it. If you want to see the show notes to this episode or find links to anything I mentioned, you can visit my blog at savvyshopkeeper.com/episode 213. That's savvyshopkeeper.com/episode 213. And if you want to learn more about my one-on-one coaching services, visit savvyshopkeeper.com/coaching. Until the next episode, be savvy and boss up.
If you love chilling mysteries, unsolved cases, and a touch of mom-style humor, Moms and Mysteries is the podcast you've been searching for. Hey guys, I'm Mandy.
And I'm Melissa. Join us every Tuesday for Moms and Mysteries, your gateway to gripping, well-researched true crime stories. Each week, we deep dive into a variety of mind-boggling cases as we shed light on everything from heists to whodunits. We're your go-to podcast for mysteries with a motherly touch. Subscribe now to Moms and Mysteries wherever you get your podcasts.